One of my school lessons was to choose between 3 prompts. And whatever prompt I chose, I had to write a 400-word essay about. I chose the Chinese proverb, "A closed mind is like a closed book, just a block of wood." And I did not write 400 words. I wrote 1,200 words. Over 1,200 words. Now, you're going to be looking at a picture of this quote the entire video, because I don't want to be just staring off at my paper, and you'll be seeing my face not looking at you. I'll be looking at a piece of paper over there. So you'll just be seeing a picture while I read it to you, so. Yeah, but just listen, I guess. Yeah. Open-mindedness. The Chinese proverb, "A closed mind is like a closed book, just a block of wood," is a very true concept. It may sound like gibberish to some closed-minded people, but if you really think about it, you may figure out the hidden meanings. This Chinese proverb is true because an open mind absorbs knowledge like an open book, and a closed mind only hears what it wants to hear. Closed-minded people are stubborn like a block of wood. An open mind is free to absorb knowledge and learn all new things. This is similar to an open book, as when it is open, it is free to have new things written into it. Because of this reason, an open mind can learn and expand from the knowledge and wisdom of others, like an open book, filling and growing by things people write into it. When an open mind hears new things, it begins to take in, analyze it, think about it, react to it, and see if it is good enough to think about and store in forever. This open mind might even spread this new information far among other people that seek for new information. When someone writes something in a book, it is the author's decision to include it in the book or not, just like it being the open mind's decision to keep it or leave it. It takes an open mind to have an open book, and an open book to have an open mind. I like to sometimes think about psychic abilities and the such, because it is fun to think about. I like to sometimes think about space and interdimensional travel, because it is fun to think about. I like to sometimes think about aliens coming to Earth, because it is fun to think about. However, not many people like to think about these kinds of things, these kinds of thoughts. These people do not have an open mind. They have a mind that is bitter and closed. A closed mind hears only what it wants to hear and believes only what it wants to believe. This is similar to a closed book, because a closed book cannot be written in by other people. The author of the book will only allow for his book to be written in by him, and not one person could try to edit or suggest something. If you try to say something interesting or deep to a closed-minded person, they won't think about it. They immediately, without thought, say that what you said was somehow wrong. I've had an experience with one of these kinds of people. His name was Brett. He has a YouTube channel. The iCard is popping up right now. That's to his YouTube channel. He doesn't post much anymore. He was my friend once, but anyway. His name is spelled B-R-E-T. No, it's not spelled wrong. It is indeed for some reason spelled with one T. Everything I said to Brett, he would say was wrong because he didn't believe it. He doesn't have the proof, but I do. I can't even have a normal frickin' conversation about science or something without him incorrectly correcting me about something he thought was wrong. Even if he knows he's wrong, he won't admit to it. Then the normal conversation will turn into a full-on argument. He will then, however, like 75% of the population of Earth, believe in something he saw on the internet or on social media that is most likely fake news, and will not do one bit of research just to check if it was correct or not. Then he will automatically think anything I say that he thinks is absurd is fake news. This is insulting to me because I'm the one who did the research, and he's just there to point out every little bit that sounds weird, when half the things in life that sound absurd are actually true. Plus, it's just plain annoying. Closed-minded people, unlike with open-minded people, will believe what is believable and argue at what is unbelievable. They won't take the time to think about anything except the little things they already know. They are indeed like a block of wood, a locked-up lump with only the information it wants and the only information it needs. I heard some people say that being closed-minded is a good thing. Someone on Yahoo Answers by the name of OS10 asked a question in which I will link in the description, or you can click the iCard right here if the link thing is still available. If the link thing ain't available anymore, you just click the link in the description. Anyway, he asked a question. What are the benefits of being closed-minded? The best answer was said by an anonymous user with 3 points and an explanation. He says, 1, you are more difficult to manipulate. 2, seen as a shepherd rather than a sheep is a good thing. 3, you think things through more rather than just hopping on the bandwagon. Like other people say, you are not exactly closed-minded, more open-minded but strong-willed, with a lot of integrity. Sticking by your U-turn decision without turning again. These 3 things are better to say in an interview. I totally agree that being closed-minded gives you a high resistance to manipulation, but I don't agree with the other points. The second point states that being a shepherd rather than a sheep is seen as a good thing. This doesn't really relate to your argument because you are stating that closed-minded people overpower, direct, and take care of the open-minded. This is only a phrase or a piece of metaphoric language, which is kind of open-minded if you ask me. The third point is totally wrong. Closed-minded people may think things out, but all they do is assume based off of their own logic. They definitely do not think more than open-minded people. When it says that open-minded people just jump into the bandwagon, they don't. Open-minded people do take life as they go, while thinking deeply about every little thing that they see. I thought the explanation was weird. The person states that closed-minded people think about things deeply but don't change their mind if those things are changed. This first part of the explanation states that closed-minded people think deeply about things. This is wrong. It is actually the opposite. Closed-minded people think into things very little. They only assume what's correct and what's not. The second part of the explanation says that you will think about it once, stick to your answer, and never think about it again, never getting a new answer. This is actually a bad thing to your argument. I don't know how this could be a benefit. Sometimes the first answer is wrong and you might need to change it. So not thinking about it when it changes will make you be wrong. I don't understand why they thought this piece of argument was a good one. Based on these arguments, I think that people forgot what open-mindedness and closed-mindedness means. Maybe they think that open-minded people think too much, or maybe closed-minded people think too little. There's something for you to think about. In conclusion, closed-minded people think that open-minded people are not intelligent when they absorb every bit of information around them, and then they think about it even more to come up with new information or thoughts that never would have been thought before. Being open-minded simply means exploring and thinking about the world, about the endless possibilities of the world, while being closed-minded means sticking your ground, not moving, and being a stubborn robot. In the words of Gary Spence, I would rather have a mind opened by wonder than closed by belief. Not sponsored. It was Coke. Hope you liked it. Closed-minded people, please don't get butthurt about it. When I was looking for that picture, a picture that I could show while I was reading the quote, I found another quote. The quote was, "The problem with closed-minded people is that their mouth is always open," and that is so true. That is so true. Because Brett always argued. Always. He always argued, like, all the time. Like, I seriously could not have a normal conversation. Like, I would talk about something, and then he would be like, "No, that's wrong." And I'm like, "No, it's not, dude. It's like," and then he'd be like, "No," and I just want to freaking punch him in the face, but, I lost the chance now. Anyway, Brett, if you are watching this, frick you. Brett, you do not know the way.